Hi, I first of all want to apologise for the delay in getting more videos out there. I have had some technical issues and want to express my deep gratitude to everyone who supported me by lending me hardware, by giving me advice around software to use. I've now, and the ability to be, the donations that I've received have helped me to purchase a new, to me, laptop, so a second-hand laptop, but all refurbished and ready to go, and also some video editing software. But I am going to try my best to just get videos done in a wanna and get it out there, as challenging as that is. So this particular video is to let you know about a workshop that's coming up on the 26th of April, so a week on Sunday. We are going to be exploring earth medicine and how to thrive in uncertain times. This workshop was arranged, prior to the impact of COVID-19. So it was going to be in person, a group of people, whoever wanted to come along, in County Durham, in the city of Durham. Excuse me. And it's now something that I'm adapting to online. So I've made some notes, and just to let you know what's going to be covered in that workshop, I've actually broke it down because it was going to be a full day workshop. So what I've done now is I've broke it down into 3 parts. And the first part is really about centering and grounding. I truly believe that we're in a time of rebirth, and it's imperative that we focus on our energy on what it is that we're rebirthing. So what it is that we want to create, what it is that our soul purpose is, how we can align with our soul purpose and give a real deeper sense of connection, meaning and purpose to our lives as we birth into this new paradigm. What's really important as a starting point for that is that we start at the centre. We start with ourselves. We look at getting some foundations in place. We ground ourselves, and we really focus our awareness on what's needed right now in this moment for us to feel stable, secure and centered. So I'm going to be exploring that with you. I'm also going to be sharing some principles and some resources from some of my teachers around how we can really thrive in these changing times, which is actually the title of a book by one of my teachers, Sandra Ingerman, who I highly recommend. She also does a whole library of books, which I highly recommend, all the ones that I've read, including Medicine for the Earth and How to Heal Your Toxic Thoughts, I think is the correct title. But How to Thrive in Changing Times is one that I'll be certainly referring to during this workshop and following workshops. And also anchoring your roots, so really getting those foundations in place. And what I mean by that is looking at it practically from a grounded perspective. How do we get a healthy routine in these times of transition and our lives have been turned upside down somewhat? How do we adapt as effectively to that as possible so that we can actually thrive and create something really powerful and really meaningful from this time that we have now to germinate the seeds of what we're growing and what we're birthing into reality? And recognising what resources we have available to us. So what resources we have within ourselves, our strengths, even what we would perceive as our weaknesses. So our needs, how can our needs show us what resources we have, and how can we build on those resources in our current situation and our current climate? So I really hope that you are able to come and share in that workshop with me. I will be sharing all of those things that I mentioned, along with a whole host of resources that I think will be really useful to you. And I want to keep that first workshop really grounded and centered, but also share some principles around medicine for the earth. Now, I'm going to hopefully make and edit some videos ready for that, but I'm also going to be setting up a Zoom meeting for that as well, so that we can have questions and answers and some discussions around that online. If you're interested and would like to hear more about what's involved, or you'd like to get involved, please let me know. I think there is a limited amount of people that I can put in the Zoom, and this will be my first attempt at using Zoom as well. I'm putting all of my services out there free of charge at the moment, happily receiving any donations or exchange that anyone wants to give, but I'm using gift economy. And I really urge you to look into that as well. You know, what's old, the old paradigm and the old way of being in this capitalist, competitive growth economy is no longer sustainable. And we're witnessing that now on a ground level. We're witnessing how that economy is not sustainable and how it is collapsing. And we all know, most of us are now very aware of how finite that system is. It's very much dependent on carbon and fossil fuels, and things that are really destroying the planet. So we really want to come together and look at new ways of economy. And something that I'm exploring is Charles Eisenstein's sacred economy, as well as some other philosophies around Dharma economy, gift economy. And I'm really leaning into that and trusting into that as a means of being able to have my needs met on a practical level with my son. I've got to say as well, with total transparency and honesty, that I do have some income. I do have a safety buffer. I do have some universal credit, which topped up my income anyway. And I do have some support from my family as well. So I am very fortunate in being able to do this experiment. I live very simply as I can. I strive to live even more simply, but my outgoings every month come to little over £1,000, which includes my rent, my electricity, my heating, my fuel for my car or public transport costs, food and general groceries, as well as leisure interests. Really, I keep things to a really minimum, and a lot of what I do leisure wise costs very little, if anything, because I live in a beautiful village next to a beautiful forest, and I have an abundance of nature to explore around me. I'm growing my own food in my garden to save on money. I'm always looking at ways that I can simplify and be more self-sustaining. I'm not a lavish spender. I buy my clothes second-hand from the charity shop or get hand-me-downs, something which I'm very proud of, because I'm not paying into these capitalist systems which are unhealthy, not only for the planet, but for the people who produce a lot of these products that we're really not aware of as consumers. So I want you to know that my living costs are low. I've always done what I do as a way of service to humanity and to the planet. But I've always had to make a living as well. I don't like to be dependent on the system that's in place at the moment, or on family. So I would really just like to raise that awareness within you that this is a gift. All of my services are available out there now as a gift. So you can see on my website more about what's available to you. All these videos are completely free of charge. I'm offering one-to-one services to support people, although I'm starting to get a waiting list for that. I'm also going to be developing an online course and offering more workshops. So the idea of gift economy is that I give, that we are generous, and our human nature, our human default is actually not competitiveness. That's the culture that we've grown up in. Our natural default, if someone gives to us and is generous to us, our natural default is to give back. And I've always felt and believed in karma, and I've always been giving of my service. I've always given a proportion and a percentage of what I do for free to support people who can't afford it. And in turn, I feel an abundance of support coming back to me from the universe through neighbours, through friends, through family. I've always felt very supported. So I really want to try and encourage more growth in that direction, more giving, more receiving, more gratitude. If you've got any questions or you'd like to get in touch with me about anything, please do. And I wish you well, and I'm now signing off with love.